Kirgai en ye ira emegailis, ta aiwoka iram di ira hanaina ora la yawete. Today's lesson will tackle something that is not the easiest of topics, so I hope you've brought a clear mind. A few videos ago we learned that a sentence in Ælis consists of 4 parts: the agent, la, the topic, ha, the patient, ia, and the modifier, ir. We know what these functions do and how they influence both each other and the sentence. We'll disregard the modifier ir for the time being and speak about the agent, topic, and patient. The agent expresses who or what performs an action. The topic expresses what the action is, and the patient expresses who or what is affected by the action. So far, we have only spoken about how these relations manifest on the sentence level, but today we'll project the thinking pattern onto the word level. Many languages, including English, express this type of relations within one and the same word. These words are often compound words. You may have never realized, but many compound words do indeed feature an implied subject and verb or object and verb. For example, there are compound words where one component expresses an action and the other one expresses who or what performs that action. For instance, a staff meeting is a meeting that is done by the staff. Another example is the compound word detention facility, a facility that detains. The same goes for the word measuring tape, a tape that measures something. There are also compound words that behave like a verb and a direct object rather than a subject and a verb. In the word sound engineering, for example, it's not the sound that performs the engineering, but the sound is engineered. The same works for wine tasting. Wine is being tasted, or car wash, where cars are being washed. In a number of examples, we can even incorporate the 3 functions of subject, verb, and direct object. A water purifier, for example, is an object that purifies water. A lawnmower is a tool that mows lawn. We can also put examples here like police drug search. The police performs an action, which is a search, and the search is aimed at drugs. In English, the relationship between different parts of a compound word is often not to be found within the word itself. It has to be derived from either context or simply by experience with the language. For example, a drug search is a search for drugs, but a police search is a search done by the police. But when you think about it, a police search might just as well mean a search for the police rather than a search by police. To counteract this ambiguity, Ælis goes about this in a different way. If 2 words are put together to form a compound word, then an additional connector particle is to be put in between to identify the relation between those 2 words. For the 3 implied functions of agent, patient, and topic, Ælis has a total of 4 particles that can be used. As I said before, the following might not be very trivial to wrap your mind around, so fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. The first of these particles is the particle lo, which means activity. We can use lo to combine an agent with an action. In other words, we use the particle lo to express that someone does something. Consider the word te lo eger. Te means person, lo is the activity particle, and eger means oral communication, or simply everything related to talking or listening. We can see lo eger as an adjective of the person. Therefore, a speaking person, or someone who speaks, is a speaker. If we replace eger, oral communication, by egen, visual communication, then te lo egen is a writer. Te lo egen, a writer. The second of the 4 particles is io, the passivity particle. We can use this particle to combine a patient with an action, or in other words, use it to say that someone is the target of an action. For example, the word te io eger consists of te, a person, io, the passivity particle, and eger, oral communication. We can see the cluster io eger as an adjective to te, meaning being spoken to. A person being spoken to is also called audience. If we replace speaking by writing, we get teio again, the person written to, or simply the addressee of a written message. So, teio again, recipient. The third connector particle is li. We've encountered this particle before and we called it the origin particle. We can use li to combine an action to an agent, to say that something is being done by someone. The example we'll use is eger li aima, consisting of eger, to speak, li, the origin particle, and aima, the pronoun for the male first person singular. We can again understand li aima to be an adjective of the action, to speak. So eger li aima means speaking done by me, or simply my speech. If we replace eger by again, written communication, we get egen li aima, my message, text, or also letter. Egen li aima, my letter. The fourth and final connector particle is yi. We've seen it before and called it the target particle. We can use it to connect an action to a patient, and we use it to talk about something done to someone. Using the same root words we used earlier, we now get eger yi aima, speaking, done to, me. We can understand yi aima as an adjective to the speaking. If we replace eger by again for writing, we get egen yi aima, writing to me. These are the four connector pieces for expressing a relation between the roles of topic, agent, and patient within the same noun. Lo, li, yo, and yi. If we look a bit closer, we can see that these four particles come in pairs with a common trait. For example, the top two connectors are lo and li. These two connectors share in common that they combine a topic-like word with an agent-like word. Both particles start with the letter L, lo and li. The bottom two particles, yo and yi, describe a relation between a topic-like word and not an agent-like but patient-like word. Both particles start with the letter I, yo and yi. The left two particles, lo and yo, also share a common trait. They are used to describe a person with respect to an action. So words with any of these particles primarily describe an agent or patient-like word and use an action to say more about that person. These two connectors end in the letter O, lo and yo. And the particles on the right, li and yi, do the opposite. They are used to describe an action and use a person to complement the word in an adjective-like way. These particles both end in I, li and yi. So again, the top two particles combine a topic with an agent. Lo puts the agent up front and uses the action as an adjective. Li puts the action up front and uses the agent as an adjective. The bottom two particles combine a topic with a patient. Yo puts the patient in front and uses the action as an adjective. Yi puts the action in front and uses the patient as an adjective. The left two connector particles put a person in front and have an action as an adjective. Lo to say that someone does something, yo to say that someone is the target of something. And finally, the connector particles on the right put an action in front and have a person as an adjective. Li to say that the action is done by someone, and yi to say that the action is done to someone. You may have noticed that the left particles and the right ones basically do the same, but with an opposite word order. This is because the connector particles are situated on the word level, and are therefore part of the hierarchical mechanism we've talked about before, where each root word describes the previous one in an adjective-like way. Let's compare these four particles once more, but by use of our previous word, eger, speaking. Lo is used to talk about something doing something. Te lo eger is a person doing speaking, or simply a speaker. Li is used to talk about something being done by something. Eger li te is speaking done by someone, meaning someone's speech. Io is used to talk about something targeted by something. Te oiger means someone being spoken to, or simply a person addressed. Yi is used to talk about something that targets something. Egergite means speaking to someone. That's the role the four connector particles play, but Ælis wouldn't be Ælis if these particles weren't more flexible than this. For example, we've established that again involves anything related to visual communication. Quite simply, we can prefix the activity particle lo to essentially any word to literally create a verb. Lo again is the act of visual communication, or simply to communicate visually, to write. We may just as well prefix the passivity particle io to mean to target an action. So, lo again, to write, io again, to be written to. Lo eger, to speak, io eger, to be spoken to. If we try to simplify the meaning of the particles, we can say lo, activity, to do, io, passivity, to be done to, li, origin, done by, yi, target, done to. If you compare Ælis sentences to English sentences, you'll see that lo and io will translate mostly to a verb, and the difference between them is expressed by playing with the active or passive voice. Li and yi, on the other hand, will be translated mostly with prepositions rather than verbs. Let's put these words into practice and consider the sentence Ya aima ha Eliana ira la igen. Good feelings are given to me by visual communication. If we place the activity particle lo before the visual communication again, we get lo again, to write. So, Ya aima ha Eliana ira la lo again means I like to write. Ya aima ha Eliana ira la io again means I like to be written to. Let's prefix a person and see what happens. La lo again, I like to write. La ima lo again, I like him writing. La ima io again, I like him being written to. Let's push the limits and suffix an origin marker, li. La io again li ini, I like him being written to by her. At this point we can see that the words turn into mini-phrases. Can we flip the word order and say instead, I like her writing to him? We can, but it is then necessary to change our connector particles accordingly. Io will become yi, and li will become lo. La ini, lo again, yi ima. La ini, I like her. La ini lo, I like her doing. I like her being active. La ini lo again, I like her being active by writing. La ini lo again yi, I like her writing with a purpose. La ini lo again yi ima, I like her writing to him. Let's recap this video with one final, super easy example. We have four particles. Lo, activity, io, passivity, li, origin, yi, target or purpose. Was this topic as hard as I said it was going to be? If you have any questions or if there is anything you would like me to go into detail about, please feel free to leave a comment or contact me in any way you see fit. Still a lot more to come. Stay tuned